comfortable with how physical this series has been? And the other series seemed even more physical.
Look, I already got fined for supporting Cheryl, so yeah, which I think is crazy. But look, I think there's nothing that we want more than just consistency. That's what I.
The WNBA has done it again. Fines flying everywhere. And this time Stephanie White got nailed for daring to agree with another coach. Yes, just saying I agree about the refs is suddenly punishable. Fever fans are furious. Caitlin Clark is still the target, and the league looks like a circus. Do you think this fine proves the league is protecting refs more than players? Let's break it down, because honestly, it's turning comical at this point. The WNBA wants to sell itself as professional, but the way it polices coaches, refs, and even players' words feels like some backyard rec league where the refs double as someone's uncle. Stephanie White, coach of the Indiana Fever, gets fined. Why? For backing Cheryl Reeve, who herself got slapped with a suspension and a $15,000 fine after torching the refs in Phoenix.
Coaches, you're hearing Becky talk about when you let the physicality happen, people get hurt, there's fights, and this is the look that our league wants for some reason. We were trying to play through it. We tried not to make excuses. One of the best players in the league shot 0 free throws. 0. And she had 5 fouls. 0 free throws. Got her shoulder pulled out and finished the game with her leg being taken out and probably has a fracture. And so if this is what our league wants, okay. But I want to call for a change of leadership at the league level when it comes to officiating.
But here's the kicker. White didn't even go off on a rant. She didn't explode at a presser. Didn't toss a chair like Bobby Knight. Didn't even single out specific refs. She literally said, I already got fined for backing Cheryl. We just want consistency. That's it. That's the crime. And that alone earned her a shiny little bill from the league office. You'd think she got caught storming the court, throwing punches. Nope. Just asking for consistent officiating.
The officiating crew that we had tonight, for the leadership to deem those 3 people semifinals playoff.
This is the league's logic. Reeve rips the refs. Fine. White agrees with Reeve. Fine. Becky Hammond nods and says she didn't lie. Fine. At this rate, if a coach sneezes too loud while mentioning fouls, that's $1,000. And if they so much as laugh at a blown call, boom, suspension. Now, Fever fans have every right to be boiling. This isn't just about Stephanie White. This is about Caitlin Clark being targeted by refs night after night, while the league punishes anyone bold enough to say it. And let's not kid ourselves. Clark has been officiated differently ever since her rookie season wrapped. She's in year 2 now. She's stronger, she's sharper, but she still gets crushed on drives, shoved off screens, and somehow winds up with fouls of her own. You don't need a conspiracy wall with red strings to connect it. Fans see it in real time. Clark attacks, takes a hit, nothing. Someone breathes on Aya Wilson, whistle. Free throws on demand. And when White or anyone else dares to ask for balance, the league treats it like blasphemy. Imagine telling your audience, don't trust your eyes. Well, believe it, that's exactly the WNBA's playbook. But zoom out for a second. This isn't only a Caitlin issue. The officiating has been awful league-wide this season. Cheryl Reeve snapped for a reason. Her star, Nafisa Collier, was hacked all game and told to tough it out. Reeve spoke up, punished. White agreed, punished. Hammond said Reeve wasn't lying, punished. 3 coaches fined for the same truth in 1 week. That's not accountability. That's censorship.
Look at Asia Wilson, sets an illegal screen.
Now, let's talk about how embarrassing this is. Fans don't just watch the games. They live on Twitter. They share clips. They track foul counts. And what do they see? Indiana Fever versus Las Vegas Aces. Fever shoot 34 free throws. Aces just 11. Becky Hammond blows up. Next day, fine. Stephanie White dares to back her up. Fine. Meanwhile, the refs who flat out botch games, they get quiet promotions and another paycheck. Where's the accountability for them? If anything, these fines just highlight how insecure the league is about its product. Instead of fixing officiating, they silence the critics. Instead of protecting their stars. Yes, Caitlin Clark drives the viewership. They shield referees so inconsistent it feels like they're flipping coins to call fouls. And let's be honest, this no criticism culture makes the league look soft. The NBA's had decades of coaches torching refs. Greg Popovich, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley. Fines came, sure, but only after going nuclear. Not for saying, I agree. You don't cheapen fines with petty $1,000 slaps for casual words. It makes the league look broke, desperate for control. Speaking of broke, fans are asking the big question. Where does fine money go? The league says it's split across programs like WNBA Cares and grants. Sounds good on paper. But let's not kid ourselves. This money isn't fueling ref development. If it was, we'd see progress. Instead, we get the same mistakes, the same inconsistency, the same outrage week after week. It's gotten so bad conspiracy theories are trending. And honestly, it's easy to see why. Some fans truly believe Kathy Englebert and the league are suppressing stars like Clark by letting refs rough her up while punishing her coach for speaking out. Why? To keep finances in check. The theory goes, if Clark explodes too fast, owners face pressure to invest. Charter flights, higher pay, better deals. By holding her back, they slow momentum. Do I buy it? Not completely. But when you fine coaches for whispers about refs, you feed that narrative. And here's where it circles back to the Fever. Indiana is now the poster child for league mishandling. Clark gets crushed. Aaliyah Boston gets hacked. Kelsey Mitchell gets mugged. White calls for consistency. Fine. Fans are sick of it. They're asking, why invest in this team? Buy tickets? Rock jerseys? If the league handicaps them, that's not bad officiating anymore. That's sabotaging your own product. The optics couldn't be worse. The Fever are finally contenders. One win from the finals. Caitlin Clark is smashing viewership records. Aaliyah Boston is putting up all-star numbers. And instead of celebrating, headlines are about fines. Instead of hyping the Fever versus the Aces, it's Stephanie White's checkbook. Way to grow the game, WNBA. Fans don't chant, we love fines. They chant, refs suck. And that chant is getting louder. Clips circulate of Clark hitting the floor, no whistle. Of Boston's arms raked raw. Of Lexi Hull shoved on boards. Fans pile on Twitter. Clark's targeted. Refs want Vegas. Kathy's protecting favorites. True or not, perception matters. And right now, the perception is ugly. Worse, it's predictable. Everyone knew Reeve would get fined after her outburst. Everyone guessed Hammond too. Everyone joked White would get dinged for agreeing. Then it happened. Fans shouldn't be predicting league punishments like it's reality TV. That's how unserious it looks. And don't ignore the bigger risk. Alienating your star. Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw this league has ever seen. Bigger than Taurasi, bigger than Maya Moore, bigger than Sue Bird. She's a ratings machine. She's selling out road arenas. And instead of protecting her from punishment-level contact, the league fines her coach for defending her. What message does that send? Shut up and take the abuse. Good luck long-term. Players talk, agents talk. And if stars believe this league doesn't care about safety or fairness, you've got a problem no fine money will ever fix.
Second half. what was, I guess, difficult about containing her? I know you guys kind of touched on a few things, maybe with the foul calls, but what made it successful for them to keep going to her tonight?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask Aaliyah that question. I honestly, you just do your work. You got to do your work early and make it different. But Aaliyah did say I have a special whistle. And she shot 13 today. Yeah. Yeah, she said the last game I had a special whistle, which is cool. So we just got to play their better defense, make her look a little difficult, and kind of go from there.
And while we're here, let's point out the hypocrisy. Becky Hammond is raging over free throw gaps, but where was that passion when her aces were living at the line all season? Where was the outrage when Caitlin Clark couldn't buy a whistle against Vegas earlier this year? Now that the shoe's on the other foot, suddenly refs are incompetent. Welcome to Indiana's reality, Becky.
I was just looking at the fouls. Like, Liz had 5, Jackie had 5, Chelsea had 5. And that's very interesting to me because I'm not saying we don't foul. Yeah, we foul here and there, but that's very interesting.
Megan had 4.
What? Oh my God, that's interesting. That's what I was looking at. But we'll do better. We gotta play better defense.
By interesting, do you mean that shit?
Yeah, I can't say that because I got a brand to protect. But
I'll say it, I have no brand.
yeah, it's interesting.
That's what makes this fine spree almost laughable. Coaches aren't dropping bombshells. They're just echoing what fans already see. Consistency, accountability, the basics. Instead, the league treats refs like sacred cows. Criticize them, and suddenly you're a criminal. Meanwhile, fans are left shouting at screens. How is that not a foul? Here's the truth. Silence doesn't solve this. Muzzling coaches only convinces fans the league is hiding something. If refs were evaluated openly, if mistakes were admitted, people would move on. But the WNBA hides, pretends bad calls never happened. And when anyone points it out, boom, fine. That's not professionalism. That's insecurity. And Fever fans are at their breaking point. Losing because you're outplayed hurts. Losing because the league tilts the floor is worse. Fever are finally relevant. Yet instead of celebrating, fans feel they're fighting both opponents and referees. And when their coach stands up, she's fined. A slap in the face. Here's the bigger issue. When a league starts fining coaches for breathing wrong, it creates an image crisis bigger than any missed foul. The WNBA keeps insisting it's growing, expanding, building momentum. But what casual fan tunes in, sees a coach fined for saying consistency, and thinks, yeah, that's my league? Nobody. Fans aren't dumb. They compare. They've watched NBA coaches rip refs to shreds and still coach the next night. They've seen NFL's sideline meltdowns, MLB managers kicking dirt on umpires. Sports thrive on emotion. It's theater. But the WNBA wants robots. Say nothing. Show nothing. Challenge nothing. And in the process, they're strangling their own product. The wild part, fining white doesn't solve anything. It doesn't make refs look competent. It doesn't erase the blown calls fans already clipped online. It doesn't make Caitlin Clark's bruises disappear. All it does is prove the league protects refs' feelings more than its stars. That's backwards. And it's going to backfire. Fever fans are diehards. They show up, buy the gear, fill arenas. They defend Clark like family. Now, their coach gets slapped with a fine. That's a rallying cry. Every Fever home game will turn into a boo fest. Every whistle sparks chants of Kathy sucks. The league invited that. And speaking of Kathy Engelbert, this fine circus lands at her feet. She's the commissioner. She signs off. She's the one sending the message that criticism isn't allowed. But fans want accountability from refs, not silence from coaches. Her obsession with image control is doing more damage to the WNBA brand than 1,000 Cheryl Reeve rants ever could. And here's the irony. The league begs for more media coverage, more engagement. Well, you've got it. Thanks to Clark, Boston, and the Fever's rise. And instead of celebrating, you're drowning in bad press. Every headline is about fines, not basketball. That's self-sabotage. The truth is, refs didn't cost the Aces every loss, and they didn't gift Indiana every win. The Fever earned it. Boston was dominant. Mitchell hit big shots. Clark, even while targeted, found ways to impact the game. That's basketball. But when refs make themselves the story and the league doubles down with fines, it overshadows the product. And the constant targeting of Caitlin Clark, that's the blind spot. She's not a rookie anymore. Year 2, proven franchise player, proven ratings magnet. Yet she's still officiated like a benchwarmer. Fans see it. Opponents know it. And when her coach defends her, she's punished. That's not how you build around a superstar. The fix was simple. Admit refs are inconsistent, promise improvement, and let coaches vent. That's normal. That's professional sports. Instead, the WNBA chose the clown route. Punish, fine, pretend. But nothing's fine. Fans are furious. Players are frustrated. Coaches are muzzled. The only ones smiling are the refs who walk away untouched. At some point, the league has to realize that no criticism allowed policy isn't saving them. It's killing credibility. Every fine makes fans trust refs less, trust the league less, and believe conspiracies more. You don't build trust by silencing voices. You build it by owning mistakes, until the WNBA learns that this cycle will keep repeating. And here we are again. Another fine, another mess, another reason fans are shaking their heads. Stephanie White asked for consistency. The league slapped her down. Fever fans are boiling. Caitlin Clark's still taking hits. And the refs? They keep skating. So drop your thoughts below. Did the WNBA cross the line with this fine? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.